speak against me, then use the same courage that it took for me to say those truths. Man to man, eye to eye, integrity and in truth. I've spent a lifetime earning the right to speak with the conviction about these truths that I speak. So if you want to tear that down, have the decency to come and say it directly to my face. And say it like a man.
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there, just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands-off with somebody. A number of producers come in to make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room. And that's always been my whole thing, and have lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that shit because the man card means everything.
You ever wonder why 50 Cent never messed with Diddy? Why Terrence Howard left Hollywood at the peak of his career? What if I told you there's a secret list of rappers Diddy allegedly got involved with, and it's finally coming to light? From Meek Mill's matching outfits to Jay-Z and Beyoncé showing up at freak-off parties, this isn't just celebrity drama. This might be the darkest secret Hollywood's ever tried to bury. And now that Terrence Howard's speaking out, the whole industry's panicking. Lawsuits, leaked tapes, and receipts are flying. So buckle up, because once you hear this, there's no unhearing it. You ever notice how Terrence Howard just disappeared from Hollywood? I mean, this was a guy at the top of his game. Oscar nominated, the face of major films, and then gone. No dramatic farewell, no scandal at the time, just silence. But now, we finally know why. In a jaw-dropping interview, Terrence opened up about something the industry has tried to keep buried for years. And once you hear what he said, you'll understand why he walked away and then why he's speaking out now. According to Terrence, Hollywood isn't just about talent, it's about what or who you're willing to give up to make it big. And when he says he left to keep his integrity intact, he means it. He didn't just reject shady deals. He walked away from blockbuster roles because they came with disturbing strings attached. He wasn't willing to play the game like so many others. And when you hear what that game really is, you'll realize how deep this goes. Terrence says he was approached by some of the biggest names in the business, people with power, money, and serious influence. And they didn't just want his talent, they wanted him to submit. One of those people? Allegedly, none other than Sean Diddy Combs. Yeah, that Diddy. Terrence claims he was invited over under the guise of being Diddy's acting coach. Innocent enough, right? But the vibe was off. No scripts, no direction, just awkward. Silence and Diddy staring at him. Things escalated when Diddy invited him back again, not for work, but to hang out. Terrence's assistant didn't sugarcoat it either. According to him, Diddy was trying to make a move. At that moment, everything clicked for Terrence. This wasn't about music or acting or any professional opportunity. This was something else. And just like that, he cut ties completely. No more visits, no more calls, no second chances. But it wasn't just about a single uncomfortable encounter. Terrence knew this was a pattern, a system built on silence and submission. He called it what it is, couch casting. But unlike most, he didn't just walk away. Quietly, he's speaking out, publicly, knowing full well the risk. And now that he's exposing names, the backlash is real. He says threats have already come in. But his message is clear. If you're gonna question his character, you better have the courage to do it to his face. And here's the wild part. Terrence says Diddy's story is just the beginning, because what he witnessed, that was only the surface. The deeper truth about Hollywood's underworld is finally starting to leak, and some of the biggest names in music and entertainment are scrambling to stay quiet, because Terrence might have said no. But he wasn't the only one Diddy allegedly tried to get close to. So what exactly was Diddy's agenda? According to Terrence Howard and a growing number of industry voices, Diddy wasn't just trying to connect with artists. He was allegedly building a network, but not the kind you'd expect from a music mogul. This was something darker, more manipulative, and way more personal. When Terrence opened up about his experience, it wasn't just awkwardness he felt, it was a realization. He says Diddy didn't want to work with him. He wanted to own him. He described the vibe like being prey, not a peer. No creative direction, no collaboration, just watching, staring, testing boundaries. And when Diddy invited him back again, the real intentions became clear. The assistant didn't even dance around it. He straight up said Diddy wanted to get with Terrence. That's when Terrence walked, not just from Diddy, but from the industry that enabled it. And here's where it gets heavy. Terrence believes that this wasn't just about one-on-one manipulation. He says it's a system, a quiet, powerful underworld in entertainment where young stars are groomed, coerced, and traded like commodities. According to him, if you want to make it big, you're expected to play along. Say yes, keep quiet. Look the other way. He even dropped names. People we've all seen struggle publicly but never understood why. Justin Bieber, Usher, stars who skyrocketed young, but behind the smiles and success were dealing with serious trauma. Terrence claims they were pulled into this system early, used and discarded, left to cope through drugs and breakdowns. He says they're not addicts because they love partying. They're addicts because they're trying to forget what was done to them. And Diddy, allegedly he was one of the main players, not just partying with stars, but controlling them, holding leverage, creating silence. And the deeper you go, the more twisted it gets. Terrence even mentioned something called the gay mafia. Powerful execs and insiders who allegedly protect each other while pushing out anyone who won't play the game. Terrence's warning is simple: lose your integrity and you lose yourself. You give up your man card, he said, and you don't get that back. But even that dark insight was just the tip of the iceberg, because right after Terrence started talking, the threats began. Once Terrence Howard broke the silence, the pushback was instant. Not just online trolls. We're talking real threats, the kind that make you think twice about ever speaking up again. But instead of backing down, Terrence doubled down. He posted a video basically telling the entire industry, if you've got something to say about me, say it to my face. Don't hide behind a screen. He called out people twisting his words, cutting clips to fit their narratives, and warned them that fair use laws won't protect character assassination. This wasn't just about defending himself. Terrence was drawing a line in the sand, saying enough is enough. He made it clear that what's happening in Hollywood isn't random or new. It's a pattern. Just look at the names we already know: Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Roman Polanski. Every time people say they're shocked, but how many people knew before the headlines hit? How many stayed quiet? According to Terrence, Diddy is part of that same system. He says the industry runs on silence, shame, and power. That young stars, especially young men, are pressured, manipulated, and violated behind closed doors, then gaslit into thinking it's the cost of success. And the people at the top, they protect each other. They pass victims around. They keep the machine running, and anyone who refuses to play gets blacklisted. That's why so many celebrities stay silent. They don't just fear losing roles, they fear losing their reputation, their safety, their lives. But not everyone kept quiet. 50 Cent, for example, never played that game. He's been calling out Diddy for years, warning everyone about those infamous parties. And when Diddy invited 50 to go shopping, let's just say 50 knew exactly what that meant.
Career, you can look at that and say the association to Beyoncé is when he started to receive the 16, 17 Grammys since he's been with Beyoncé. Right? And you go, prior to that, one.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that came in association, like you see that their kids even have Grammys. Like they don't sing yet. They don't sing. Right. They don't rap yet. And they already have Grammys and shit. So it's like they give them this trophy so we secure that they're coming to the award show. It meant that much to the culture that they just gave them.
Now here's where things really start to unravel. Because this whole situation, it's not just about Diddy. Some of the biggest names in the industry are getting pulled into the spotlight. Jay-Z and Beyoncé, the power couple of music royalty, have now been named in lawsuits linked to Diddy's infamous freak-off parties. Yeah, those same parties Terrence and 50 Cent warned everyone about. And according to court documents, they weren't just rumored guests, they were allegedly witnesses. One lawsuit even claims that a man named Joseph Manzaro was drugged, abducted, and paraded around one of these parties wearing a penis mask. And when he came to guess who he saw sitting right there in the room, Jay-Z and Beyoncé. The documents say Beyoncé reportedly asked, "What's this all about? Why is this half-naked white man with a penis mask standing here?" Now, whether that was shock or performance, no one knows. But one thing is clear, their presence puts them in the room where it happened. And then there's the theory everyone's been whispering about for years, that Jay and Bey's marriage was more business deal than love story. People have pointed out how Jay's awards and accolades skyrocketed after marrying Beyoncé. He had 1 Grammy before, now he's got over 20. Their kids even have Grammys. Let that sink in. Toddlers with trophies. That's not normal. So the question becomes, was this just industry favoritism or was it something deeper? Did their proximity to Diddy buy them power, protection, and silence? Because right now, they're quiet, dead quiet. And in a scandal this loud, silence speaks volume. Just when you thought things couldn't get any darker, the lawsuit bombshell dropped, and it's wild. Joseph Manzaro, the man at the center of the most disturbing claims, didn't just accuse Diddy of trafficking, he laid out a nightmare scenario, drugged, abducted, and humiliated in front of a room full of A-listers. And this isn't hearsay, this is part of an official civil filing. According to the lawsuit, Manzaro says he was lured with a greasy substance at his front door, something that knocked him out cold. When he came to, he was in a secret tunnel connected to Gloria Estefan's Miami property and was allegedly transported into Diddy's mansion through an underground system. What he woke up to was straight out of a horror film, a freak-off event, with him in a penis mask surrounded by laughing celebrities, including Jay-Z, Beyoncé, LeBron James, and others. And here's the kicker, he's not suing Jay or Bey, he's naming them as witnesses, which means he's saying, you saw what happened. You were there. You knew. That's huge. The lawsuit even alleges this party was for Diddy's then 17-year-old son. Let that sink in. This wasn't just sick behavior. It was orchestrated and possibly normalized in front of minors. And while some celebs are staying silent, others are nervously joking their way out of it. Will Smith recently tried to distance himself from the scandal with a half-joking line, "I don't even like baby oil." But his name has come up too, and fans aren't buying the cute one-liners anymore. This lawsuit is more than just a document. It's a wrecking ball aimed at the heart of Hollywood's elite, and the cracks are already showing. For years, people laughed at 50 Cent, called him bitter, said he was just trolling. But now, it's starting to look like 50 wasn't hating, he was warning us. Way before the lawsuits, before the leaked tapes, before the headlines, 50 was the only one openly calling Diddy out. He never sugarcoated it. He didn't drop vague subs, he said it clear as day. There's some fluffy stuff going on, and I want no part of it. When Diddy tried to cozy up, offering to take him shopping, 50 wasn't flattered, he was creeped out. That's something you say to a woman you're trying to impress, he said in an old interview. It just felt weird. And now, looking back, it all lines up. Diddy wasn't recruiting collaborators. He was allegedly recruiting victims. But here's the part that hits hardest. 50 says the reason he can speak up is because he's got nothing to hide. He didn't go to the parties. He didn't play the game. That's why his conscience is clean and his mouth is wide open. And it's not just him. Terrence Howard said the same thing. The only people brave enough to speak are the ones who didn't participate. Everyone else, silent, shaking, lawyering up. And now with his Netflix docuseries Did He Do It? About to drop, 50 is ready to show the world exactly what he's been talking about. The documentary promises to pull back the curtain and name names. No more whispers, no more speculation, just cold, hard truth. This isn't just gossip anymore. This is a full-blown unraveling of power, fame, and abuse. And it's only getting started. With more victims stepping forward, a flood of lawsuits piling up, and court dates fast approaching, the walls around Diddy and his crew are closing in. Cent was right, and the industry's biggest cover-up is falling apart. If you made it this far, you're part of the few who know the truth before the headlines catch up. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and leave your thoughts in the comments, because the next chapter is going to blow the roof off the industry.